Learn English, speak confidently with Inkwell Stories. Hello, everyone. I'm Emma, and welcome to the Learn English with Confidence podcast. Today, we'll talk about something that almost every English learner experiences: the fear of speaking English. Yes, that funny but painful moment when you open your mouth and suddenly every English word you ever learned disappears.
Oh, I've been there too, Emma. You know, when you finally try to speak English with someone and your brain says, nope, not today. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. In this episode, we'll discover why we feel this fear and how we can start speaking English with more confidence, step by step.
Exactly. So if you've ever felt shy, nervous, or afraid of making mistakes, don't worry, you're not alone. We've all been there. And by the end of this episode, you'll feel stronger and more ready to speak up.
That's the goal. But before we begin, if you like learning English with us, please give this video a like. It really helps more learners find our lessons.
All right, let's get started. So, Alex, let's begin with the big question. Why are people so afraid to speak English?
Good question. I think the first reason is simple: fear of making mistakes. Many people think, if I say something wrong, people will laugh at me. But honestly, that almost never happens. Most people respect you for trying to speak their language.
That's so true. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I made lots of mistakes, but native speakers always smiled and helped me. It made me realize that making mistakes is a part of learning, not something to be ashamed of.
Exactly. But many learners still feel embarrassed when they make errors. They want to sound perfect. The problem is, if you wait until you're perfect, you'll never speak.
Yes, perfection is not the goal. Communication is. You can make small grammar mistakes and still communicate clearly. Even native speakers make mistakes all the time.
That's true. I make grammar mistakes in my own language too. The point is, we learn through doing. You can't learn to swim if you never go into the water, right?
Exactly. Another big reason is the fear of being judged. People think others are watching and criticizing them, but in reality, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to judge your English.
Absolutely. When you speak English, the person you're talking to is usually focused on understanding you, not on your grammar.
Right. And if you're talking to another English learner, they probably feel the same fear. So you're both nervous. That's kind of funny if you think about it.
Yes, it's like two people dancing awkwardly but still trying their best. The key is to focus on connection, not perfection.
Beautifully said, Alex. Connection over perfection. That should be our motto.
Yes, and here's something important. Many people also compare themselves to others. They see fluent speakers online and think, I'll never be that good. But they forget that fluency takes years of practice.
Exactly. You only see the final result, not the hundreds of hours of effort behind it. The truth is, everyone starts as a beginner.
Yes, you can't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Instead, compare yourself to your past self. That's real progress.
I love that. And sometimes people's fear comes from how they learned English in school. They studied grammar and vocabulary, but they rarely practiced speaking.
That's a huge point. Many students know the rules perfectly but freeze when it's time to talk. It's like knowing how to play the piano in theory but never touching the keys.
Exactly. Speaking is a skill. You can't learn it by reading. You learn it by using it. And like any skill, it gets easier the more you do it.
Yes, and when people don't speak for a long time, their fear grows. The less you speak, the more you worry about speaking. It's a cycle.
Yes, and when people don't speak for a long time, their fear grows. The less you speak, the more you worry about speaking. It's a cycle.
That's so true. So, to break the cycle, you have to start small. Even saying 1 or 2 sentences a day can make a big difference.
Definitely. You can talk to yourself in English while cooking, driving, or walking. It's great practice, and nobody judges you.
I do that all the time. I talk to myself like, okay, Emma, today we're going to have coffee, then record a podcast.
That's perfect. It's a great way to make English part of your daily life. The more natural it feels, the less scary it becomes.
Exactly. And you know what else causes fear? The belief that your accent is bad. Many learners feel insecure about their accent.
Yes, but an accent is not a problem. It's a part of your identity. It shows your background, your culture, and your effort to learn another language.
Right. I always tell students your accent means you're bilingual or multilingual, and that's something amazing.
Exactly. People with accents are brave because they're doing something difficult, communicating in another language.
And you can still be completely understood even with an accent. You don't need to sound native. You just need to be clear.
Yes, and clarity comes from confidence and practice, not from being perfect.
That's such an important point. So let's summarize what we've discussed so far. We fear speaking English because 1. We're afraid of making mistakes. 2. We fear being judged. 3. We compare ourselves to others. 4. We rarely practice speaking in school. 5. We feel insecure about our accent.
Exactly. And all these fears come from one thing: thinking too much. When you overthink, you block your natural ability to speak.
That's true. When we were children, we learned our first language by listening and trying, not by being afraid. We made mistakes, and it was fine.
Exactly. Adults forget that it's okay to sound funny while learning. Children don't care. They just speak and have fun.
Yes, and if we could bring that same playful attitude into learning English, it would be much easier and more enjoyable.
Absolutely. Fear disappears when fun begins.
Wow, I love that quote, Alex. We should write it on a t-shirt.
Maybe we should.
Okay, we've talked a lot about why we feel fear. In the next part, let's talk about how to overcome it, practical steps that our listeners can start using today.
That's a great idea. So everyone, stay with us. In part 2, we'll give you real strategies to build confidence, speak naturally, and finally enjoy speaking English.
Yes, get ready because it's going to change how you feel about English forever.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. Thanks for joining us again. In part 1, we talked about why people fear speaking English, the fear of mistakes, judgment, comparison, and all that overthinking.
Exactly. And today, we'll go one step further. We'll talk about how to overcome those fears and finally speak English with confidence.
Yes, because understanding the problem is just the first step. Now, let's fix it together.
Let's start with the most important thing: change the way you think about mistakes.
Yes, instead of saying, I made a mistake, try saying, I learned something new. Every mistake is proof that you're trying, and trying means progress.
Exactly. Nobody ever became fluent without making thousands of mistakes. In fact, the people who speak best are the ones who made the most mistakes.
That's so true. If you never make mistakes, it probably means you never speak.
Yes. So from now on, every time you make a mistake, smile and say, "Great, that's one step closer to fluency."
Perfect mindset. And another thing that helps is positive self-talk. When you say to yourself, my English is terrible, your brain believes it. But if you say, I'm improving every day, you start to feel more confident.
That's powerful. I sometimes tell my students to start their day by saying one positive English sentence, like, I can speak English with confidence, or my English is getting better and better.
Yes, it sounds simple, but it really changes your energy. The way you talk to yourself matters more than your grammar.
So true. And speaking of grammar, stop focusing on being perfect. It's okay to use simple words and short sentences. You don't need fancy vocabulary to communicate well.
Yes, fluency is not about using big words. It's about expressing yourself clearly and naturally. Even native speakers use simple language in daily conversations.
Exactly. You can say, I'm happy today. You don't need to say, I am experiencing a positive emotional state.
That's right. Simplicity is your friend.
Now, another great way to overcome fear is to practice in a safe space, somewhere you can speak freely without judgment.
Yes, you can find online speaking partners, join English clubs, or even use speaking apps. Or if you're shy, start by talking to yourself.
Exactly. You can practice in front of a mirror, describe your day, or even record your voice and listen to it.
Listening to your own voice might feel strange at first, but it helps you notice pronunciation and rhythm. You'll start to sound more natural.
Right. And remember, the goal is not to be perfect, but to feel comfortable using English in real life.
Yes, and one secret is to think in English as much as possible.
Oh, yes, that's a big one. Thinking in English stops translation in your head. For example, instead of thinking in your native language first, just look at a cup and think cup, not the translation.
Exactly. You can start small, just with objects around you, then short sentences, like I'm opening the window, I'm making tea, I'm going out.
And the best part? You can do this anywhere, in your kitchen, on the bus, even while walking.
Yes, it's like turning your daily life into an English class.
Another big step is to use English in real life, even if it's just a little.
Yes, for example, you can order food in English when you travel or write English comments online. Small actions make a big difference.
Right. Even talking to AI tools or language exchange partners helps. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes.
And here's something funny. When you speak English with real people, you realize it's not as scary as you thought. Most people are friendly and patient.
Exactly. You build confidence through real experiences, not just studying.
Yes, you can read and watch English content for years, but until you speak, it's like watching people dance and never dancing yourself.
That's such a good example. You can't learn to dance by watching. You have to move.
Exactly.
Okay, here's another trick. Surround yourself with English every day.
Yes, the more you hear, read, and think in English, the more natural it feels. You can listen to podcasts, watch short videos, or even change your phone language to English.
That's what I did when I was learning French. At first, it was difficult, but after 2 weeks, my brain started to adapt.
Exactly. Immersion helps you stop translating and start understanding automatically.
And remember, consistency is key. 10 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week.
Yes, build the habit. Even small daily practice keeps your fear away.
This one is maybe the most important. Focus on communication, not perfection.
Exactly. When you speak, your goal is to connect, share ideas, and express yourself, not to impress people with perfect grammar.
Right. If someone understands your message, you've succeeded.
And you'll notice something when you stop trying to sound perfect, your English actually gets better because you relax.
Yes, that's so true. Fear blocks fluency. When you relax, words come naturally.
Exactly. That's why it's called speaking practice, not speaking perfection.
I love that line. Another way to stay motivated is to celebrate your small victories.
Yes, maybe you spoke for 1 minute without fear. That's a win. Maybe you understood a movie scene without subtitles. That's a win too.
Exactly. Every small success shows that you're improving, and celebrating keeps you excited to learn more.
Yes, don't wait until you're fluent to be proud of yourself. Be proud now.
Beautifully said, Alex. And you know what? Sometimes we're too serious about learning. We forget to enjoy the process.
Yes, learning English can be fun. You can sing English songs, watch comedies, or play games. Laughter makes your brain remember better.
That's true. And it helps you feel more relaxed when you speak.
So, Emma, if you could give just one piece of advice to every English learner who feels scared to speak, what would it be?
I'd say start today. Don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect level. Just speak, even if it's short or simple. Confidence comes from action, not from waiting.
That's perfect advice. And mine would be kind to yourself. You're learning a new language. That's an amazing thing. Be patient and proud.
Yes, remember, you don't have to speak perfectly to speak confidently. You just need courage and consistency.
Exactly. You're already on the right path by listening to this podcast.
So keep going. One word, one sentence, one conversation at a time.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed this conversation and learned something new, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really supports us and helps you get more free lessons every week.
And don't forget, you can download the PDF of today's conversation and a special vocabulary list from the description below. It's free and it will help you review all the useful phrases we used today.
Yes, keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, your English journey is not about perfection, it's about progress.
We believe in you. See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.